This is Ella Star with your Key Races and Bets podcast for Saturday, July 26, 2025. This Key Races and Bets podcast is brought to you by Amwager.com, AMWAGER. Amwager.com is a great legal U.S. based horse racing wager website. Amwager.com has some great betting tools and perks for the racing fan and is legal for residents of most states and covers most tracks in North America as well as many around the world. Check it out, amwager.com. We're going to start with these one of three in a row excellent betting races at Del Mar All Stakes on Saturday, July 26th. The first is going to be the San Diego Handicap, race 8 at Del Mar. Post time is 5:30 Eastern, which is 8:30 Pacific. And the win contenders are Express Train and Nisos. Express Train won the 2021 San Diego Handicap, and although now an 8-year-old, has more than a decent shot to win this year's edition and provide a nice profit because the two Bob Baffert trainees, Nisos and Miramati, will be heavily bet. Express Train is still pretty game, with two runner-up efforts in graded stakes in a row coming into this race. The cutback from 10 furlongs, a mile and a quarter, to this mile and a 16th trip could be just what he needs to win because in the San Pasquale Stakes, one race before last, Express Train stalked the pace and was in front at that point in the race before settling for second. In this year's San Diego, Midnight Mammoth, whose last two wins came when in front from start to finish, will likely be sent from the rail, and Miramati is also need the lead type. Maldonado aboard Tarantino will likely go to the front or try and go to the front, as that's how they earned their last win. Express Train can sit in fourth exactly as he did in the San Pasquale and take over. Then Nisos may or may not get by him the same way Katona passed Express Train to win the San Pasquale. Nisos stretches out off a layoff, third race off a layoff, often a peak effort in a horse's form cycle, and won the previous time he ran two turns. Nisos earned a field high 117 equibase speed figure, winning the 7 furlong Triple Bent Stakes in his most recent race, and is on a pattern to run even better, so could be a legitimate favorite, but a very heavy one, and just the same will offer no value for a win bet. We should still use Nisos along with Express Train on any double tickets from race 8 to 9 or 7 to 8 if you have an opinion of race 7, and any pick 3 tickets played involving this race 8. In the San Diego Handicap Race 8 at Del Mar on Saturday, July 26th at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, I think Express Train would be a good win bet at 5-2 or more. Then we play an exacta box of Express Train and Nisos and play a straight exacta of Nisos over Express Train. The reason to do this is because that exacta is going to pay a lot less than the other way around, and we want to make about the same profit either way on the exacta, so winning the exacta twice may help. Moving on to the next race at Del Mar, really good races, the Daisycutter Handicap. Race 9 at Del Mar, post time 6:03 Eastern, 6:03 Pacific, 9:03 Eastern. The win contenders are Granny, Budgie, Ang and Ash, and Lovin' on the Run. For exacta's pushiness. Now, Granny, Budgie, Ang and Ash, and Lovin' on the Run all should be closing fast after a sizzling early pace duel between Pushiness and I'm About to Go, both who only want the lead to win, may be pressed by Spicy Bug, and that should take its toll on the front runners, even at this 5 furlong trip. Granny Budgie won a 6 furlong sprint one before last, beating Pushiness, who led from the start, and she has now won 6 of 10 turf sprints in her career. The outside post gives her a slight edge over the other two closers. Ang and Ash, like Granny Budgie, also won the last time she ran on the flat rather than downhill course in Southern California, also at 6 furlongs. That win was in March, where Ang and Ash flew home after being 5th with an 1/8 mile to run. Ang and Ash also won at this 5 furlong trip twice, in 2 tries, back-to-back, last August and September at Del Mar, and also she likes to win, with 4 wins in her last 9 turf sprints. Lovin' on the Run won the only time she ran at this distance last September at Del Mar, 20 days before Ang and Ash earned the same win, the same trip. Lovin' on the Run was recently claimed by Doug O'Neill for $32,000. She recently 3 back out of a strong win at 6 furlongs in May and won 5 weeks ago in her second start since changing trainers. Frisu rode her great that day and rides her back. Pushiness has held on for second 3 times in 10 tries, including 2 of 3 on grass, while the other speedball, I'm About to Go, hasn't hit the board when she doesn't win. Pushiness gets Juan Hernandez, and although I think she's susceptible being passed late, she could hang on to complete the exacta. In the Daisycutter Handicap, race 9 at Del Mar, 6:03 Eastern, 6:03 Pacific, 9:03 Eastern on Saturday, July 26th. We'll start with Granny Budgie and Anganash when considering win bets. They should be considered for win bets at 2-1 or more. I would not hesitate betting both if both are 3-1 or more. And Live on the Run can be considered for a win bet at 4-1 or more. If we do get better than fair odds on 2 of the 3, we can gain the best mathematical edge possible by using what's called a Dutching tool to prorate our wagers. There is a free Dutching tool at amwager.com where all you have to do is select the total you want to wager and then select 2 horses, and all the work is done for you. And that's just one of many tools and perks available for the horse racing fan at amwager.com. For the exactas, Granny Budgie, Anganash, and Lovin' on the Run over. Granny Budgie, Anganash, Lovin' on the Run, and Pushiness. Moving on to the third of these 3 great races at Del Mar on Saturday, July 26th. This is the Bing Crosby Stakes, and this is post race 10 at Del Mar, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. The win contenders are World Record, Roll On Big Joe, and Crazy Mason. And for some exactas, but in the second position only, Dr. Venkman, Hijazi, and Mabagnik. World Record hasn't yet set a world record, but he's run exceptionally fast, such as when winning in May of this year and running 6 furlongs in a sizzling 107.84 seconds, earning a 111 Equibase speed figure, the third highest figure earned by any horse in the field for the distance of the Bing Crosby, just behind the 114 Roll On Big Joe earned winning the Palos Verdes Stakes in February, and the 112 Mabagnik earned winning an allowance optional coming race last month. Satanic Blinkers in June of last year, World Record has won 3 of 5, including the Amsterdam Grade 2 1 year ago. Following the win this past May, World Record may have returned a bit too soon in his second start back off the layoff in the Aristides Stakes at Churchill, where he led by a length in the stretch and was caught and passed, but still battled gamely to the wire, ended up in a dead heat for second. Coming into the Bing Crosby, World Record has been rested only 2 months and can fire fresh as he did in May. Not only does jockey Flavian Pratt get the most out of World Record when aboard him, but per Race Lens query, Pratt and Rudolph Brissett have had a very strong record going back 4 years, 13 for 43, 25%, with 60% in the money. This year, Pratt leads all North American jockeys, winning 156 out of 631 races. That's 25% wins, including a lot of graded stakes. And Pratt has chosen to ride this horse and forego an entire day at Saratoga, where he's been riding daily. That says a lot about World Record's chance of winning this race and getting a ticket to the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Roll On Big Joe has finished first or second in 6 straight. More importantly, earned wins in both stakes he's run in that span. He won the Palos Verdes in February at the distance of the Bing Crosby and earned a then career best 114 figure in doing so. 2 later, he won a race at Churchill Downs with a new career best 121 Equibase speed figure before winning the Kelly's Landing Stakes 4 weeks ago with a 104. Jockey Julian Leparoux has ridden Roll On Big Joe just twice in his 2 wins and comes west to ride him once again. If there is a concern, it's that Roll On Big Joe has nearly as many second place finishes, 6 to be precise, as wins, 7 in his career. However, if Roll On Big Joe repeats either of his 3 most recent winning efforts, he could be very tough to beat. Crazy Mason, like World Record and Roll On Big Joe, ships out of California from parts elsewhere to try and earn a spot in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. In sprint races this year, the Colt has won 4 of 7, including the Carter Stakes Grade 2 in April, with a 107 Equibase speed figure. He improved to a new career best 111 figure when third in the True North Stakes in June, a race he was not disgraced in because that was won by the Breeders' Cup Sprint Division leader Bookham Dano, who returned to win the Vanderbilt Stakes last Saturday. Crazy Mason usually races at the back of the field, having won 3 races in a row from January and April with visually impressive late runs. In this year's Bing Crosby, many of the other 8 have shown a tendency to lead or press the pace, which sets up Crazy Mason for a big late run again. Having put in a scintillating 47.4 half-mile workout before leaving New York, which is pretty good for a closer, which was the best of 98 workouts for a half-mile on the day, Crazy Mason is showing us he remains in top form, must be respected as a contender in this year's Bing Crosby. In the Bing Crosby, race 10 at Del Mar, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern on Saturday, July 26th. I'm going to look first to bet world record and roll on Big Joe at 9-5 or more. I would not hesitate betting both at the 3-1 or more. Crazy Mason, who may be ignored by some bettors, can be considered at 7-2 or more for a win bet. Again, this is a great race to use Dutching Tool and Amwager to prorate your wagers if you bet more than one horse. It really helps out. For the exactas, Exacta 1 is going to be a box of world record, roll on Big Joe, and Crazy Mason. Exacta 2 is going to be world record, roll on Big Joe, and Crazy Mason over. World record, roll on Big Joe, Crazy Mason, Dr. Venkman, Hijazi, and McMagnet. I'll say it again. World record, roll on Big Joe and Crazy Mason over. World record, roll on Big Joe, Crazy Mason, Dr. Venkman, Hijazi, and McMagnet. Don't forget, you can get the written version of this in writing. The P Races and Bets blog, free at Amwager.com. Click on How to Bet and LStar's blog. While you're there, if you're not betting on Amwager, check it out. It's legal for residents of most states and covers most tracks in North America, including all these races at Del Mar. So you should sign up if you're not already a member. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.